Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's meditation. Please get settled into meditation. First of all, let us bow down to Shri Mataji, raise our kundalini and put on a bandhan.
जब सहज में आए हैं तो हम एक हुए हैं। जब सहज में आए हैं तो हम एक हुए हैं। रास्ते पे तेरे चल के सभी नेक हुए। रास्ते पे तेरे चल के सभी नेक हुए हैं। हर पग पे संभाला है तो आगे भी संभालो। हर पग पे संभाला है तो आगे भी संभालो। श्री माँ के उजालों निर्मल माँ के उजालों आँखों में सिमट आओ अंधेरों को निकालो।
Now let us begin with Sri Ganesha's mantra. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. May the qualities of innocence and wisdom settle within us completely. Let us say one mantra to Shri Brahmadeva Saraswati. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Brahmadeva Saraswati Sakshat Shri Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devi, Namo Namaha. May the qualities of creativity and action fill our Swadhisthana chakra. Now let's take our attention to the Nabhi chakra and say one mantra to Sri Lakshmi Vishnu. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Lakshmi Vishnu Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Let the qualities of Dharma, righteousness and evolution settle in our Nabhi chakra. Now let us take our attention to our Sahasrara, and with our attention at Sahasrara and in meditation, we can listen to a video from 1980 in October. What to expect from Sahaja Yoga after your realization.
Today I was telling you about our growth within after self-realization. The germination takes place very easily. The Kundalini rises very easily. Also pierces the fontanelle bone area very easily. That is really, as you call it, Sahaja. It's a tremendous happening. It takes thousands of years for people to get realization. That's also a fact. They had to be born again and again, and very few selected got realization. But today, as I said, the time has come for many flowers to become fruits. So this happening doesn't take much time. It's just split of a second in many people. But about the growth I was talking last time I've ended up at self-realization. What is self-realization? Is and what do we expect from self-realization? The first thing that happens to you, as you know, when the Kundalini rises, that you start feeling physically better, your health improves. Though the Kundalini rises from the centermost Nadi, called as Brahma Nadi, inside the Sushumna, in the central part. And first thing that happens is the physical being, which is helped. That is not the innermost core of every center. The innermost core of every center is the spiritual. But how is it first the physical being is helped? It's very interesting to see. The Kundalini rises through many centers, passes through Agya, pierces through fontanelle, and becomes one with the all-pervading power. So first thing that receives the information is the seat of Sadashiva, the seat of your Atma, your spirit, on top of your head. But the spirit is in your heart. So the first awakening takes place, or enlightenment takes place, in your brain. This is a very important point to receive. In your brain resides the conscious mind. That means the present. And when it is enlightened, that means your awareness is enlightened. You get enlightenment in your awareness, in your attention. As I told you last time, that attention is enlightened first. So through your attention, you can find out what is the matter with other persons. You can find out what centers are catching, what your centers are catching. So on the physical level, you know what's happening. That's this, we should say, the present. We feel our gross being enlightened. We can feel them on our fingers. But when the Kundalini is rising in your being, she goes straight on to the fontanelle bone area. Of course, if there is a hurdle or anything, then she stops and tries to indicate. At that time, if she is not successful, for example, you have got a liver problem, then she will come and throb at liver problem, informing you that there's something wrong with the liver. That's why a Sahaja yogi has to give vibrations from outside. When the Kundalini rises above the Agya, she goes up to this fontanelle and pierces. But when she cannot go beyond Agya, she spreads out here. She can spread out here also. And then she starts trickling down. The grace on the, or you can say she starts relaxing this area, which is called as Murdha. And that's how she makes more space in the Agya. And this relaxation works out the outer side of the physical being. Also, when she pierces through in anyone who has a simpler personality, who is not so complicated, first thing that happens is that the grace starts falling through from the sides. And the grace starts falling into the Ida and Pingala. And then she comes down, by which she supplies Ida and Pingala, the grace, not the Kundalini. You should not confuse these two things. Because of her piercing, there's an opening made and the grace starts coming down. And she, I should say the grace itself, feeds all the centers from outside. So the physical being improves. The second one I'm now going from outside inside. Is. Second one is the mental being. Now the mental being relates to our awareness as well. Also to our sense of understanding, intellect and all those things. When the grace starts flowing more and more within us, then our mental being gets enlightened. When the mental being gets enlightened, then you start feeling centers of other persons. Some people, just get cured. They don't feel any vibrations, nothing, just they feel cured. They get cured of cancer, this, that, all sorts of things. But they do not get vibrations, they do not get the feeling, they cannot make out whether it is this chakra or that chakra, they do not feel anything. So the first thing that would happen to anyone is the physical gift. Physical being improves. That's the grace of God. Because if you are not well, if you have some pains and some troubles and some diseases, how are you going to pay attention to God and Spirit? That's very important. But before it comes to the mental self, something else happens also. That when the Kundalini pierces, the falling of grace first comes down to the lower centers starting from Nabi downwards. And Nabi is a great sucker. Nabi starts sucking the vibrations, or you can say the grace. And Nabi starts getting awakened, first of all. From Nabi rises the Swadhisthana chakra, which goes round and round, which is connected with Nabi. So it flows to Swadhisthana. And then Swadhisthana also starts working out itself. Swadhisthana sucks in as much as possible and works out all the centers, all the organs which are supplied by it. But Nabi, when it receives surplus grace, then it starts opening. And its opening helps us in very gross material life also. You are helped materially. Supposing if you are materially absolutely hopeless, then you are not going to pay attention to God also. So it's the responsibility of God to first give you little material well-being. Like I received a letter and also in the tape, they are mentioned about somebody who wanted to come to India from Australia. She got her realization, she felt very much better. And she wanted to come to Australia, or to India, but she had no money to come. And that desire was there. Because of that desire in her, she may not have put full attention to her spirit. And that's how our material desires get satisfied. And her daughter discovered she had a bracelet, many bracelets and things she had, and she went to a jumble sale for selling them for some sort of a program they had for children. And they discovered that one of the bracelets that she had, which she thought to be a junk, was of gold. Surprisingly. And she sold it for $1,500. She was going to sell it for 20 cents. And that was exactly the amount needed for their travel, for both of them. Now one would say that how it works out. It is miraculous. That's all I can say, because the machinery is such. The pouring of the grace within you informs the Lakshmi principle in the Nabi. Nabi, just show them where it is. Somebody has to get up and show. Douglas, or someone. Douglas, come on. This is the one. And this has the deity of Lakshmi. She is the deity of your well-being. And this is what Krishna has said, Yoga Kshema Vaham Vyaham. When the yoga takes place, means when the Kundalini pierces through for the nail bone area, I look after your well-being. How does he look after? Through Lakshmi. Now this is a universal deity. She is present in human beings, and also she is present in material things. It is such a fantastic thing that you cannot explain these things on human level. Really, it is difficult. Only thing you can see for yourself how it works out. It's so tremendous. Like if you have to explain about human civilization to an ant, it's going to be difficult. In the same way it is. It's so difficult, you see. And human beings are so proud of their rationality. And I find it impossible how to explain, but it does work that way. You can only see the working of it. But if you are proud of your rationality, you go ahead with it. What can you do? But you just see for yourself how it works. So the second layer that really is improved is your material being. So many people have been helped who are here materially. The well-being has come. Actual well-being, apart from satisfaction. But as I said, it does not cross the limit, like you do not become Mr. Ford. Because that's some sort of a behavior which is asahaja. To be so rich, I mean, it's ridiculous, vulgar. You become better than what you are, but not the best. Because you have to be in the center at a satisfied point. And everybody has to enjoy you. And you have to enjoy everybody. But supposing if you are in dire necessities and problematic things, then you cannot pay attention to God. And that's what He understands, that you cannot. If you have physical problem, you see, if you have cancer, how can you say that you pay attention to your spirit when you have cancer? I mean, such a body. After all, if this whole house is going to collapse, you cannot meditate here. So first the physical stability is established, and second is the material. There are many factors which work out material stability automatically. First of them is that once you find your spirit, you just automatically give up your habits. Most of these habits come from your Nabi, because from Nabi chakra you get your seeking. And you think when you have a habit, you are seeking your joy. I mean, many people have said, Mother, but I enjoy my glass of whiskey. So they have said to me many a time. Or I enjoy a little ride here and there. Somebody has said that, Mother, I enjoy some Kensington ladies, you see, sort of thing. But once you start enjoying your spirit, it drops out. All your attention, you see, becomes enlightened, and your priorities change. You don't enjoy these things that you have been enjoying before, so just don't do it. I mean, I don't have to tell you don't drink, you just don't do. I don't have to tell you that you don't smoke, you just don't do. But there are some very weak people extremely weak. I mean, very, very weak people. They take time. I know they plod and sort of, you see, they are very slow moving creatures. But not all. Um, I would say quite a small number. And most of the people, they just give up things. Just give up. So you start saving money, automatic. Because the money goes to the races or to the pubs or to other habits which are useless. You know they are useless. Smoking, drugs, any such foolish things that you are wasting money on. And you start channelizing this money for something better. Something that gives you more joy, more happiness, and of an eternal nature, not a temporary one that you take the drink previous night and in the morning you are finished. You get a drink that never finishes, which you enjoy all the time. You get drunk like that. You see. Because in my own life I've seen it's such a so-called sophisticated elite life. People drink much more, you see, than normal people do. And they asked me, why don't you drink? I said, I'm already drunk. The day I was born, I was so drunk that now if I have to drink more, I'll fall off. So better not ask me. They're quite frightened at my this thing. I said, I'm really fully drunk already. So they start looking at me, and they never find me anyway less in spirit as they are. Actually, I'm always little more than they are. So they never force me to do that. But these things drop out automatically. I don't have to tell you that you have to drop out. Because most of the things you have done, because you have been seeking something. You know, there are people, I asked them, why do you do this? They said, we are seeking love. I said, how? How can you find love like this? Or somebody will say that I'm seeking God. There are many people who are taking drugs, I mean genuinely, just for seeking. But when they have found it, what they were seeking, they don't take drugs. But this is one of the side issues. I was just trying to make it a little lighter. But mainly what happens is that actually the principle of Lakshmi, the principle of well-being within you is awakened. And if you listen to one of my tapes where I've described what a Lakshmi is and how she symbolized, it's a very beautiful picture of Lakshmi that the great seers have put before us. That she is after all a mother. She is a mother. A person who is a rich man has to be a motherly person. But here you find in the whole world, I have seen those who have even little money, their nose goes up like that. And if you see them from down below, they look like wolves, you see, not like mothers. Most surprising. And this Lakshmi, who is a mother, wears a white sari, very elegant, with a gold border. That represents that he doesn't put people into awe by his pomp and show and this and that. She's standing on a lotus. Imagine any human being standing on a lotus. That means that she's so light in her behavior towards others. She's so delicate. She touches people with such delicacy that people don't feel hurt. They are not any way pressurized by the riches of people. But you know, it's just the opposite. The so-called rich, you see. Horrible. If somebody is coming in here, I would like to get out of that door. They try to pressurize because they have money. If somebody starts talking big, just find out 99% he must have won some horse race. This pressurizing is a sign that he is not a Lakshmipati. He has nothing to do with Lakshmi. So he is so gracious. I've seen such people. I've seen some people like that. I've seen one in England. You'll be surprised to know. I've just seen him once. He was a gentleman who was some lord and something. And later on he came to India. He was Viceroy. And there was a gentleman who was very well known to us. He once met him in a train which was delayed or something happened and they had to get down at another station and somehow or other they were put together. And it was so simple and so good and so helpful that this gentleman was taken by him. He said, now better you come to my house because it's not going to be any train, you come to my house. When he went to his house, he was surprised the house was like a palace. And then he told him who he was. He was amazed. And he even carried his bag. Such a simple. And then when this gentleman told me that such a person is there, then he revisited India. Then he brought him to see. But he's no more now. He's dead, this gentleman. But he was a very big man in India and a very big person. But such a simple man. Such a simple person. So that's the significance of well-being is. So when a Sahaja becomes well-being, gets well-being, then he has all these qualities in him. That he doesn't impress on others that he has a property or he has got money and he should pressurize others. If he is really a good Sahaja, he would be the humblest of all. And he would be very generous. Because in her hand, one hand is like this. The left hand is like this, means she's generous. She's giving. All the time she's giving. She's not taking anything, she's giving. And that's how such a person is all the time giving. I've seen people who after Sahaja Yoga receive a lot of blessings and are miserly or try to oppress others, lose their properties, lose their money, and really suffer a little bit. Because otherwise there's no way of teaching them. So the generosity flows from a hand. And another hand is like this, which means that she gives protection to people. There have to be some people who are ashritas, are dependents, who just depend, from whom such a person doesn't take any money, they just live. These systems are still in India. Those people who are well off always have about 2-3 people being supported by them. Is the system still working in India? In many places. I mean, in my father's house, we always remember we had people like that. They were educated and given higher education by my father free, just free. But never did they feel that they were anybody else or treated with same respect and with same dignity as we were treated. But that was a part of life. One had to do it. This is the ashraya, is that there should be some people depending on them. England also I've seen people have cats, dogs, things like that. It's a little bit, they do spend on cats and dogs. But better to spend on human beings. What am I going to do with cats and dogs? Can I give them realization? It's better to look after human beings than to look after cats and dogs so much. But I've seen when they are dealing with cats and dogs, they're very happy people. With human beings, they're very unhappy. I don't know why. If you must have seen in the BBC and all that, when they have these advertisements, I've seen in television sometimes, you see a person having a cat. She'll always smile and joke and this. And anybody having children, if she looks so miserable, that should not be so. There should be somebody dependent. It's not important to measure every money, ask for 2p I gave you yesterday, will you return 2p to me? It's not, it doesn't behove a Sahaja yogi to be like that. If it comes to that, all right, give some money, forget about it. It helps you such a lot. It helps you such a lot to be meticulously so observant about how much money you lent. It's better to be more worried about how much you have taken than to be how much you have given. It helps a lot. It's a thing one has to realize in life, how much it helps. I've seen in my own life it has helped so many times. I mean, you really have people then around. It's a matter of 5 rupees and 10 rupees is so important to some people at a point. And it works wonders. I mean, you can have a human being worth millions by paying sometimes 5 rupees. It can work out that way. So try to be more giving, and then you receive more as a Sahaja yogi. Remember that now you are connected with Lakshmi. The more generous you are, the more you get it. When you are small-minded, you do not receive her blessings. You have to give. You have to give. Once you give, it starts flowing. The stagnation is over and the flow starts coming in. Otherwise, you are stagnated when your hand is tight-fisted, as you call it. English language has so many good words. Though they are now losing their meaning. They call it you are very, I don't know, there must be new words for being very, very miserly. Some good word, which doesn't mean miserly, but must be some economical or something fantastic. But actually miserliness is miserliness. Give it whatever name you like, it's horrible. And one should not take to miserliness. That is a curse. I tell you, it's a disease. It's like leprosy to be heated. Try to be generous. Now the generosity of maybe,
I'll leave it there and I'll post the video online after the meditation has finished. Now let us settle down into meditation, and I'll continue with Light of Love music.
जिस घर में बसी हो वही घर ढूंढ रही है जिस घर में बसी हो वही घर ढूंढ रही है अब कर के कृपा मुझे आंचल में छुपा लो अब कर के कृपा छुपा लो के हाथों अब चाहो तो आकाश पे धरती को उठा लो अब चाहो तो आकाश पे धरती को उठा लो श्री माँ के उजालों निर्मल के उजालों आँखों में सिमट अंधेरों को निकालो अंधेरों को निकालो अंधेरों को निकालो
Jagadanbe, Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan. Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan. Jaya Mahagundalini tu ambe, Jaya Mahagundalini tu ambe, Jaya Mahagundalini tu ambe, Jaya Mahagundalini tu ambe, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan, Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan. Jaya Vishnu ki Lakshmi tu ambe, 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 Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan. Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan. Jaya Gruhalakshmi tu Jagadanbe, Jaya Gruhalakshmi tu Jagadanbe, Jaya Gruhalakshmi tu Jagadanbe, Jaya Gruhalakshmi tu Jagadanbe, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan. Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan. Jaya Raja Lakshmi tu Jagadanbe, 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 Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan. Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan.
Jaya Brahma ki Saraswati tu ambe,
Jaya Brahma ki Saraswati tu ambe,
Jaya Brahma ki Saraswati tu ambe,
Jaya Brahma ki Saraswati tu ambe, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan. Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan.
Jaya Nirmala Vidya Jagadambe,
Jaya Nirmala Vidya Jagadambe,
Jaya Nirmala Vidya Jagadambe,
Jaya Nirmala Vidya Jagadambe, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan. Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Jagadanbe, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan. Jaya Shivaji ki Parvati tu ambe, 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 Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan, Jaya Ganesh Ji ki maan. जी की मान जय जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे जय गणेश जी की मान जय कृष्ण की राधा तू अम्बे 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 जय गणेश जी की मान जय गणेश जी की मान जय जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे जय गणेश जी की मान जय विष्णु माया तू जगदम्बे 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 जय गणेश जी की मान जय गणेश जी की मान जय जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे जय गणेश जी की मान जय यशोदा माता जगदम्बे जय यशोदा माता जगदम्बे जय यशोदा माता जगदम्बे जय यशोदा माता जगदम्बे जय गणेश जी की मान जय गणेश जी की मान जय जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे जय गणेश जी की मान
जय यीशु की मारी तू अम्बे
जय यीशु की मारी तू अम्बे
जय यीशु की मारी तू अम्बे
जय यीशु की मारी तू अम्बे जय गणेश जी की मान जय गणेश जी की मान जय जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे जय गणेश जी की मान
जय महागणेश तू जगदम्बे
जय महागणेश तू जगदम्बे
जय महागणेश तू जगदम्बे
जय महागणेश तू जगदम्बे जय गणेश जी की मान जय गणेश जी की मान जय जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे जय गणेश जी की मान
Now let us together sing the last of the three great mantras. Om Twameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Saraswara Swaminini Moksha Pradainini Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Thank you everyone for joining in this meditation this morning. May the grace of God flow through all our chakras and establish stability and love, generosity, satisfaction within our Nabi chakra, so that the grace of God may flow, the excess grace may flow to those all around us. God be with you all. Morning. Enjoy today.